Chapter 11. No Peace on the Soul's Return Journey. After roughly half an hour, the scenery before my eyes shifted abruptly into a soft pink haze, dotted with blooming pink flowers everywhere. What followed was far more sinister. Not far ahead on the roadside stood Guan Yu, the female classmate I had long secretly loved. She smiled at me gently as she began to undress, one piece after another, sending a wave of heat surging through my body. The sight was utterly tempting. Leaning close, I whispered to the great yellow rooster beneath me, "Slow down a little, just a tiny bit." Yet the rooster paid me no heed, racing forward at full speed and dashing straight past her, just as she reached for a bra. I was filled with frustration. So close to catching a glimpse of her hidden beauty. My neck began to twist backward on its own. No, I told myself firmly. One look and I would be doomed. I must not turn around. Torment soon grew worse. Guan Yu's voice drifted right beside my ear, and I could almost feel the warm breath of her words. Her tone was sultry, alluring, and breathless. "Darling, I have nothing left on. Don't you want to see?" I chanted a desperate mantra in my head, squeezing my eyes shut tight. "That is just an illusion. Do not look back. That is only an illusion." The honeyed voice lingered. "Just one glance. Don't you like me anymore?" I was truly on the verge of breaking. It was cruel beyond words, preying on the restless longing of a young virgin boy, stirring an urge to give in, to risk everything for a single look. Summoning the last shred of my reason and willpower, I roared loudly. "Like hell I will. Begone. Once I'm back alive, I'll chase you properly and see all I want in a hotel room." Thankfully, the seductive panting faded away with my outburst. I was left trembling, unsure whether to feel relieved or regretful. The surrounding scenery transformed once more into the familiar streets of Longjiang County. Pedestrians passed by, completely unaware of my presence. Riding the giant yellow rooster like a steed, I galloped boldly along the road. I soon realized both the rooster and I were translucent. Cars drove straight through our bodies without a trace. It was undeniably thrilling. I drew near, spotting the county hospital in the distance. I had truly cheated death this time, and my heart swelled with joy. The relief of surviving a near-death ordeal was indescribable. This brush with death had granted me new insight and maturity. Little did I know, countless hidden dangers still awaited me in the days to come. The great yellow rooster never slowed its pace, charging straight into the hospital and stopping outside my ward. I saw my elder brother and sister asleep on the corridor benches, worn out from worrying over me. In that moment, I understood how precious life truly was. A wonderful life awaited. I was finally coming home. "Xiao Fei, I forgot to tell you one thing." It was Uncle Nine's voice, unmistakable. With my ward so close at hand, my guard was down, lulled into carefree complacency. I turned my head instinctively. But standing behind me was not Uncle Nine. Instead, a haggard old woman in white robe stared back, her face gaunt and twisted into a cold grin. I was done for. A swirling mass of inky darkness erupted behind her, countless pale hands reaching out to drag me into the void. I had stumbled at the final hurdle, defeated mere steps from salvation. Panic surged through me. Without a second thought, I leaped off the rooster and sprinted madly for the ward door. It was too late, however. The ghostly hands closed around me, pulling me backward with relentless force. Was this how I would die? My heart turned icy cold. To perish so pointlessly, less than 10 meters away from my own body? I refused to accept it. I would not give up. Just as the shadowy hands were about to drag me into oblivion, the great yellow rooster let out a deafening crow. The ghostly clutches recoiled in terror, and I broke free. The old hag shrieked and lunged at the rooster, sinking her fangs viciously into its neck. The spectral hands reached for me once more, but I seized my chance. Launching forward in a fierce leap, I phased through the wall and into my hospital room. Fixing my gaze on my own unconscious body lying in bed, hooked up to an oxygen mask and 4-drip, I darted back into my flesh in an instant. Everything turned black. My body ached as if torn apart, sharp pangs of hunger and thirst crashing over me, my head throbbing heavily. I jolted awake, finding my father sitting beside the bed, his eyes bloodshot with exhaustion. He pulled me into a tight, embraced the moment he saw I had woken. It was the first time I had ever seen my father cry. Overcome with sorrow, I wept alongside him. My brother and sister rushed into the room upon hearing the commotion, crowding around my bed. Only then did I truly grasp the weight of my second chance at life. Doctors arrived soon after, running a full series of examinations to confirm I was fully stable. At last, my family's fear subsided. Lying in bed, my father told me everything that had happened. I had drowned after jumping into the river in a drunken stupor, only to be pulled out in time by Yong Su and Old Jia. I had remained comatose for an entire day, with doctors warning I might slip into a permanent vegetative state without waking soon. Then my grandmother had dreamed of me, followed my instructions exactly, and brought me back. It felt like a surreal dream, yet I knew it was real. Every memory of the underworld city and Uncle Nine remained vivid and clear in my mind, as did every word written in the 3 purity scriptures. I asked my father about the yellow rooster. He nodded toward the corner, explaining it had let out one final cry and died moments after being carried into the ward. I stared at the bird that had sacrificed itself to save me, lying peacefully on the floor. Gratitude flooded my heart, so profound that I never ate chicken for the rest of my life. I told my father to bury the rooster properly and respectfully. After 2 weeks of hospital observation, I was discharged and returned home. My grandmother prepared a hearty meal for me. As I ate, I silently vowed to cherish every blessing in life from then on. I helped her clear the table afterward, earning warm praise for my newfound maturity. That very night, I dreamed of the old hag once more. She wore new robes, resembling the local earth goddess enshrined in village temples. She told me our karmic debt was settled, my fate had never been meant to end early, and she would never haunt me again. From that day forward, she would guard my household as our patron spirit. I woke in high spirits and lit incense at the family shrine to give thanks. The matter was laid to rest. At school, my quick recovery meant the incident was never reported. I asked my family not to hold Old Jia accountable for taking us out had not been his fault. Everything had been fated. Old Jia and Zhang thanked me profusely and treated me to drinks. Drunk and unsteady, we stumbled back to our afternoon classes. My art classmates and acquaintances all checked on me warmly, filling me with genuine gratitude. I had grown to believe deeply in fate. I treasured every moment now, having witnessed the emptiness of wandering spirits in the afterlife. Life was beautiful, the air fresh, and every ordinary day a gift. During class, I saw Guan Yu again. Her graceful figure still lingered in my thoughts. Missing that illusory sight on my return journey was a bitter regret. I resolved to confess my feelings to her, determined never to let opportunities slip away again. Yet fate had other plans. After school, I mustered my courage to speak to her. Before she could reply, her boyfriend stormed over, dragging me away to the restroom for a talk. I left with a splitting headache and fresh bruises, realizing life was far from perfect. It seemed Guan Yu and I were never destined to be together.